Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Phoenix, the site of headquarters for Vitalant. I'm Becky Kapp. I'm the Senior Vice President of Biotherapies, which means that I'm in charge of operations and strategy for our cell and gene therapy segment. This is a group that is passionately committed to patient care, and it is a thrill to be in Phoenix with our headquarters here. We're not for profit. We are made up of a series of hubs across the country, and in those series of hubs, along with those series of hubs, we have 120 fixed sites. We're serving 900 hospitals across 28 states. We have been innovative problem solvers from the beginning of our organization over 80 years ago, when a couple of nurses got together and decided that we needed a community blood bank. And they built that out, and from that seed has grown the organization that exists today. We were innovative at that time, being one of the founding members of the American Association of Blood Banks, now the Association of Advanced Blood and Biologics, and we're really excited to be here today. There are three groups that we serve: therapeutic developers, hospitals, and patients. We're filling in the gaps and, importantly, removing roadblocks where we're trying to move the industry forward and create opportunities for companies to grow, for hospitals to onboard these important clinical therapies, and for patients to get access to them in the communities where they live. So how do we do that? Well, we have a menu. There we go. We have a menu of services that are pretty extensive. And what was really interesting to me when I came on board, I found a staff that was deeply embedded in the hospitals they had been serving. They were providing support for bone marrow transplant. They were providing therapeutic apheresis. And after building those relationships, they got invited to participate in the hospital services around cell and gene. So most of what Vitalant is doing today is in the first mile and the last mile, but we're building out that complement of services. We have testing capabilities that stem from HLA matching for bone marrow transplant and for organ transplant. We're looking at how to pivot those. So with this range of capabilities, you might ask, well, how do we engage? How does that apply to a therapeutic developer? Well, Vitalant also has an extensive donor network and footprint. And so I'll give you an example of a therapeutic developer that we're working with and how we're building that relationship, removing roadblocks today and removing roadblocks, showing them a path to removing roadblocks that we both anticipate in the future. So there's a therapeutic developer working with a rare cell population that's difficult to manage. And they found themselves in a situation where their supplier of cellular starting material pulled out of the market. They didn't have access to their existing donor base. They didn't have access to a new donor base or a path to find them. We got introduced to them, and we started talking about the challenges in front of them. One was very fundamentally recruit donors that match our profile. Collect the starting materials, get it to us quickly so that we can manufacture it, and then understand who these donors are, really deeply characterize them. One of the obstacles that they saw down the path is that they have a small scientific team. Qualifying these donors requires extensive testing that is proprietary to them. They do it in their shop. That's a lot of time spent on getting that donor qualified. So we talked to them about the range of ways that we could help them, including tech transferring some of their assays into our shop. We have a scientist on our team who actually had experience with that cell type, and their reaction when they found out was, oh my God, we've been waiting for you all our lives. Now that's not every customer, but we were able to get together with them, start with, what's your immediate pain point? Let's get your donors, let's understand your donor recruiting criteria, start recruiting donors for you, get them qualified, so that you can move on to your next set of clinical trials. They were out of phase 2, ready to go to phase 3, and really concerned about the viability of their project without access to donor material. So we were able to put a single contract in place to get them started, get that donor material collected for them, and move on down the road. Now, the next project, because we have this single contract in place, the next project is a simple SOW. And that's one of the things that we have deliberately put in place to accelerate partnership with customers in the space. We have a single MSA that covers all of our service lines, all of our geographies, and so projects can be added easily and sequentially. So we're working with them, we're moving toward the next step. So let's talk about how we do this, right? There's a culture statement. As a not-for-profit, we talk about our mission, we talk about our vision, but we also have a culture statement. At Vitalant, you belong. Together, we lead with our hearts to find a better way. Wow, find a better way. So the innovation that this team brings to its customer relationships, it invites our partners to come in and say, let's find a better way together. We don't have all the solutions. We're looking to fill the gaps and make things happen where you need us. So the example here is a hospital that we've been working with for a long time, supporting their bone marrow transplant service, providing their HLA testing. They really wanted to move into the cell and gene therapy space. They were in a cash-strapped position. They didn't have the staff, they didn't have the quality system to really support moving into that. We've heard a lot here about FACT accreditation and the burden that that puts on hospitals. So how could they do that creatively? They came to our team and said, here's the problem, what do you think? We said, sure, we can do that. Our cell processing lab is already FACT accredited. We're helping you with bone marrow transplant. We know your system. So they had the apheresis capability in-house. So fine, they did that. They sent us the products. We did the processing, sent it to the manufacturer. Oh wait, when the final product's ready, they didn't have a place to put it. They didn't have a way to thaw it. They didn't have a way to prep it for infusion. So our team stepped in and said, sure, we can do that too. We'll take ownership of it. We'll put it in our cryo storage. When you're ready to give it to the patient, we'll take it out, we'll bring it to the hospital, do the thaw and prep on site. So this is about meeting them where they are. We listened, we responded. Again, that single MSA, they are now at the point that they're doing single patient INDs, which is, as you can imagine, that's a pretty rapid turnaround need. With our contracting mechanism, we can turn that around. By the time they've actually made a decision and started to schedule the patient, we can get a contract turn in about a week. Because we have that relationship, our legal team is nimble, and we've figured out how to make that happen. I've talked about single point relationships with these first two examples. The third gets into our footprint. This is another customer that we've had for a long time. We worked with them across multiple locations, and they have other partners, right? So that's great. We work with them where we are, and one of their partners pulled out of a strategic location for them. And their first call was to one of our team members. Said, okay, here's geography X. So I'm going to leave all of that anonymous, but here's geography X. Partner pulled out. We have patients in 2 weeks, and we don't have apheresis capability. We can't cancel those patients. Their situation is dire. We don't want to move them. We don't want to make them fly to another place where we have collections. Can you help us? So we looked around at those 120 sites, and we found one in that geography. And we made a call to the site director and said, David, do you have some space where we can set up and do apheresis? Very quickly, we had a team on a plane out there to figure out what do we need to do, how do we need to modify the facility. Our quality team was on it, talking to FDA for changing our registration at the site, taking care of AABB and FACT on all of our accreditations. We have compact licensed nurses. We'd already identified that who could come to the site and do the collections. So those are licensed across multiple state lines, so they can move around and do this. Optia's, Terumo has supported us in the fact that those are very portable, and we were able to move Optia's in, move nurses in, make the facility accommodations. The day that the patients were scheduled to be collected, all they knew is that they went to a different site. They were collected on time, their therapy was delivered on time, and we were able to do all of that because of both the trust and the infrastructure that we had developed, the physical infrastructure that we've leveraged to do this. I think you can hear the pride, the commitment in me to what Vitalant brings to the cell and gene therapy space. At a time when we're trying as an industry to move therapy to patients, more patients, and closer to where they actually live. We have a lot of opportunity here. The purple states are where we are. The gray states are where we are creating a presence with partners, one step at a time, one partnership at a time. We have at least 3 of those states as of this meeting that are going to turn purple in the next year. So I'm really excited about that. None of this could be possible without this amazing team. In this group of people, you have decades of operating experience across life science sectors and industries. You have deep expertise in strategy, operations, and science, and a passion for guiding growth, transformation, and innovation. Back to that culture statement. Together, we lead with our hearts to find a better way. We are trying to create lasting impact for these patients. So we are a partner, we're a support, critical services where and how you need them today and in the future. We have a wide range of support and services that you saw, and a larger one that we are building, establishing that foundation, making sure that it is solid. But we want to offer that to a broad range of both customers and geographies under a single contract, a single QMS covering the country. The irony is, I stand before you with our actions and our activities ahead of our marketing. So the QR code will lead to a landing page that gives you a brief description of our core services and capabilities. But we're rebuilding that website, but it doesn't reflect the complexity of what we are capable of offering. So I invite you to reach out to any of us on that list, or to reach directly to Biotherapies at vitalanthealth.org. We're excited about our presence here in Phoenix and what we are going to be able to do in this ecosystem and beyond. Thank you so much for everything that you are doing to create access for these patients and make this a reality. I appreciate your time this morning.
Thank you, Vitalant.